All right, what it do, everybody? It's your boy LOG from Where There's Smoke. About a week ago, I put up a video talking about doing video reviews on different series and shows that I was gonna watch. So today we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with the first of that series, and this is our video review for episode 1 of The Acolyte. All right, so I was gonna go through and kind of talk about some of the main characters for the series and for this first episode, with this being the first episode in the series premiere. But there's a few things in there that are kind of spoilery, so I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about the episode, and as I go through, name off characters, and then at the end, I'll go through and kind of make the connections and name any characters that I forgot, and kind of do it in reverse in that way, so to speak. So the episode starts out with a little description, as Star Wars usually do, like a few words that kind of go up or disappear or whatever, and it kind of just outlining that this is 100 years before the rise of the Empire and the events of the Skywalkers and all that kind of thing. So it kind of sets an outline of this is several generations before Anakin and all that kind of stuff that goes on with the Emperor and Vader, Luke, and all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. And then something I noticed right away, just to get you in the Star Wars atmosphere and in the universe feeling, was you have this person in a cloak and whatever, really well done with the character and everything. They walk up to this little cyborg looking creature and like ask him where's the Jedi and like pay him off for a tip. And I just thought that whole scene, that little character that got paid off, as well as like the maybe not even Sith apprentice, but like the dark side user, I'll say. Everything about that little scene just kind of really. I haven't watched a Star Wars show in a while, but coming right off the rip, that first little opening scene really got me feeling like, okay, I'm in Star Wars. I'm in the Star Wars universe, and it really got me amped up for the show. So I really enjoyed that. And then you also right after that you walk in to a pub scene, which is also a popular thing for Star Wars. So that was another thing like, okay, I'm in Star Wars. I see all these creatures, I see everything like the Star Wars vibe. It's like the only thing missing was the music, I feel like, just about. So I really like that. And then right away they got into a little battle, which was pretty good, and I like seeing that. Uh, it was good, and it was kind of funny how when the dark side user, I'll say at this point, because as a fan or as an audience member, you're still wondering who this is. When the dark side user, the girl goes up to the group and she's like, "Attack me with all your strength." She like, calls out this one Jedi, and it's implied that like a bunch of Jedi's kind of sitting around, but she calls out like what appears to be the leader of the Jedi and says, what's her name? Jedi Master Indara. I have a beef with you. Calls her out. She's like, "Attack me with all your power," and they all kind of laugh at her. And then the Jedi that gets called out says, "Jedi don't attack the unarmed." And then the dark side user says, quips back, "Oh yes, you do," as if referring to like some kind of incident. And then a kind of a battle ensues. Um, let's see, and it was a pretty good little battle, kind of short lived, but it was good. Uh, Jedi Master Endara ends up getting killed. I noticed there's like a lot more hand to hand combat, which I've noticed in a lot of these new Star Wars shows and series, which I kind of like. It's cool how they mix that in with the Force. So I like that. And it seems like in this series, the Acolyte, the dark side users have a little bit of a vendetta, and they kind of like getting a kill without using a lightsaber or like a really. They use like little. The dark side user was using like little daggers and like throwing knives in combination with the Force, but she wasn't using a lightsaber or any kind of major weapon or signature weapon, which was interesting. Um, and then it kind of cuts after this battle, and it kind of makes you seem like you're following the same person, this dark side user, but now you're just seeing her in her day job, and she's kind of blending in. You see her wake up, you see her droid, you see her talk with her coworker. He says like, "Oh, you missed last night," almost like making you think, okay, just kind of like, does anyone else that knows her knows what she did last night? And as in kill this other Jedi. And she kind of says, "Oh, what I do within my own time is my business," and that kind of thing. Um, Not long, we see a little bit of her working. Then not long after that, we see the Jedi's come in, and they find out where she is. Then they question her. They don't know if they can believe her or not or trust her. And at the audience at this point, you don't know what to think either. You're kind of in the dark as well. Um, and the Jedi that come to interrogate her, the main one, the Jedi Master, is named Yord Fandar. Hope I got that right. Uh, so that's his name. So we see that. You really get a sense when they're interrogating her that like the Jedi are kind of similar to like the police or something. So they have this kind of moral high ground that kind of is rubbing. As me, I'm kind of like done with it, and I think like that's obviously what they want to make you feel in that scene. Like it's kind of old that the Jedi have this moral high ground that maybe is not even justified. Um, so you kind of see that, and then it cuts to a conversation between Jedi Master Soul, who is in charge of training the younglings at the I guess at the Jedi Academy or whatever at this time, and then you see him with the younglings kind of giving a lesson, and then he dismisses them as he's approached by Master Vernestra, who seems to be kind of at a high position, if not maybe in charge of the whole council. And they have a conversation about kind of what's going on, that this other Jedi, Master Indara, was killed, and they're talking about they think it's Osha that did it, and Master Saul doesn't think so, but they're back and forth. And anyway, they kind of talk about it a little bit, and then you see uh, Osha getting brought in the prison ship, and you see this whole escape scene, which is pretty much the climax of the episode where the most action happens, and it's kind of interesting. And it's interesting here because you see her try to use the Force, but she's unable to. And that to me was a huge sign of like, okay, is the person that killed this Jedi and the main character that we've been following, Osha, really the same person? Because when the dark side user that when she left the fight, she picked up one of her blades with the Force, and she was using the Force the whole time through the fight. But then our main character Osha can like barely use the Force. So to me, that was kind of like a thing, like okay, maybe they're playing with something. And at some point they brought up that May had a twin that died, but then it started becoming like, what if it didn't die? I think that was some of the conversation between Jedi Master Soul and uh, Master Venestra. So they played with that a little bit. Um, with the coworker scene, with like what I do with my time is my own time, that kind of made you think. But then with the Force thing, it kind of made you think like, okay, maybe not. So you were kind of, definitely throughout the episode, kind of wondering, was the twin alive? Was it Osha that was doing this all, or what was going on? So another subtle detail that throughout the episode, especially when I went back and watched again, the dark side user who ended up being the twin sister, aka May, to Osha, she had longer hair, so that kind of was another giveaway that there were two different people. Um, yeah, and then at the end, there's the reveal that May is working with some sort of Sith character, which is you kind of were waiting for the whole time. Um, a couple times the Jedi used their mind trick to like really. It seemed like they almost had it on speed dial more than even in the original series with Obi-Wan or the prequels and what have you, where he did the mind trick several times. It seemed like these people had the mind trick even more down. So that was something I kind of noticed. There was a lot of good scenery also and visuals. I really felt like I was in the Star Wars universe the whole time. It was really good. I didn't feel like anything was cheaped out or cheesy, just to me. And then at the end of the prison break scene, all the people in jail or whatever, all the prisoners get out except for Osha. So she basically has to go down with the ship, and it really, really reminded me of when Anakin and Chancellor Palpatine and Obi-Wan had to go down with the ship in episode 3. So I think that's it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Uh, there was some stuff that it showed with May and Osha's children, which I really think that was just to kind of tease if she was still alive or not. And I think it was a really good premiere episode. Like I said, I really liked a lot of the scenery, showing it with Star Wars. I liked the prison escape. Um and I'm really looking forward to episode 2, which I should be reviewing soon. And we'll see what other twists and turns they have in there. The big twist and turn for this one was playing whether Osha was the one that killed the Jedi, was on this vendetta thing, or if it was in fact her sister, which you didn't know if she was dead at the time. So they end up revealing that in fact May is alive, and there's two different sisters, and I just wonder what other twists and what other good Jedi lore and Star Wars lore we're gonna kind of get along the way, because they kind of have free reign in my mind. Unless this has been written out before, but I'm not sure. But in my mind, they kind of have free reign to kind of do what they want a little bit. It's far enough away from the other Star Wars series where they can kind of do whatever they want and have a little fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're gonna go with the series, what other little twists and turns they're gonna do that are only relevant to this series, and then other ones that are maybe relevant to Star Wars at large. So I'm interested to see where they go with the series. And I guess that's episode one of the or video review one. And y'all be on the lookout for my review of episode two for the Acolyte and the other series I got coming up too. And I guess that's LOG from Where There's Smoke. I'll holler at y'all soon. Later.